Hey guys, what's going on? Chris here with Shughead Gaming, and welcome to my review for Salaryman Escape, developed by Red Accent Studios and released for the PSVR June 26th for an estimated retail value of $20. Salaryman Escape is a VR physics puzzle game where players must use their skills to help an unhappy salaryman escape from his life. Is this game a keeper, or do I need help escaping from this game? Let's find out. As always guys, if you like this video, hit that like button, and if you want to see more PSVR content from me, you know the deal, please consider subscribing. And for updates, don't forget to hit that bell icon. As my friend Noble always likes to tease, graphics are up first. Salaryman Escape, like many VR puzzle titles, opts to put you into an almost god mode, where you look onto and over the puzzle at play. You spend the majority of the game from the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids perspective of an office desk, hovering above the workspace. The graphic style and color palette used is very reminiscent of the ever-popular Superhot, and like Superhot, the textures here are not nearly as sharp as they should be, considering the low texture detail and simple color scheme. The game looks decent and it does its job, it's just surprisingly unpolished for what it is. The puzzles themselves and the said salaryman you guide again look okay, but lack anything to really applaud. This game has a look it's going for, and while it didn't do much for me, I guess it succeeded. Menu screens are neat and take nice advantage of the scale of VR, but overall the game just looks meh. Sound is up next. Game sounds across the board are serviceable and yet unremarkable. Moving blocks make a whirring sound when moved, and the salaryman makes a chime sound when he finds a successful path or reaches a coffee break, i.e. save point. It does the job but nothing else. Music, on the other hand, I should have loved. I read 80s inspired soundtrack and was super pumped. What I neglected to read was Japanese 80s soundtrack. While there were some cool synth moments overall, the limited song choice and irritating Japanese singers across the few songs made me want to throw off my headset, especially in times of pure frustration, but more on that later. Anyways, yeah, it's a puzzle game, so sounds aren't usually a huge part, but last week's Rooms the Unsolvable Puzzle showed just how awesome a role sound can play in a puzzle game, so I'm not feeling particularly charitable in this category. And that brings us to gameplay. You all know I'm not a puzzle person, so with that in mind, let's dive in. In Salaryman Escape, you are tasked with moving blocks in physics-based puzzles to clear paths and connect various parts of the puzzle to allow the salaryman to reach the exit door and escape his office life of misery. This game is controlled with either a DS4 or one move controller. Armed with your controller of choice, you can spin, increase, decrease, and move around the puzzle area to best navigate and interact with the world. As I said, this is a physics-based puzzle game, and most puzzles, especially once you start to advance, really require you to think about such things as weight supports and swing velocities. This all sounds awesome to me, and the puzzles here are really pretty awesome, and they really make you think. Unfortunately, I was fighting the tracking and controls the entire time. Blocks wouldn't move well unless I was in the sweet spot that the game appeared to have for me pulling at blocks at times. Blocks would just not move quickly or smoothly, and this was all compounded by a general sluggishness that I felt when simply moving the controller about in the game space, and even in the menu screen. This resulted in my already low patience for puzzle games digressing into swears and arms in the air, up with frustration, as I tried to pull a weighted block in a timely fashion from a swinging pendulum, just to get screwed over by shitty controls. Anyway, the puzzles I played before I walked away in frustration were smart, innovative, and constantly changing. There's a good puzzle game here, and it's 75 puzzles plus the ones unlocked by the collectible coins you will come across. There's a lot to bang your head against. This game can be played seated or standing, and I actually prefer played it standing, as the puzzles are big, and in my setup the tracking was better while I stood. And that brings us to fun factor and my final verdict. Okay, so puzzle games aren't my thing. That being said, I still believe very strongly in reviewing games for what they are and for who they are made for. This is a smartly made physics-based VR puzzle game that uses the VR space well and will really make you think. Unfortunately, the repetitive soundtrack and craptastic control tracking really hinder the experience. This, on top of a price tag that I believe is about 50% too big for this game, makes this a definite wait for a sale and a wait for a patch from me. A smarter person than me could easily blow through this game in under 3 hours, and for $20 American, that's a lot to pay for a physics-based game with physics-based controller tracking issues. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. I've got another review coming out this week, and maybe two, so stay tuned for my next video.